All right, another day done. Little brain dead, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Not too bad of a day. But one of our greatest philosophers of our time, Charles Barkley, he said something incredible just about the political spectrum. I was watching him on Inside the NBA, and he was talking about our society and whatnot, and he said that, and he's just talking about, the election and the presidency and all that fun stuff, everything that everyone's been freaking out about. But he was like, if you can keep poor people fighting with one another, then they win, And I don't think he was talking about if you're barely scraping by, but poor relative to the people who, I don't know, have a lot more money than us. I said this previously, but my mom works with somebody, or doesn't work with somebody, but works for and with high net worth people. And, she knows of people who are spending $68,000 a month in rent. And that's I think it's like $1.7 million a year. And here's how rich people are, okay? Here's how wealthy people are. With what I make, what we bring home in our total income, that $68,000 a month is less of a percentage of the person's income that makes $20 million a year. That's less of a percentage of their income than what I pay in rent, all right? So I'm not saying, when I talk about, quote unquote, poor people or people who don't have money, I'm not just saying people who are living well beneath the poverty line. I'm saying the vast majority of us, or a massive chunk of us who are, just trying to pay the bills, trying to put, acorns in savings and whatnot. But what Charles Barkley was talking about was with the left and the right is they think of topics and ideas, and they have these policies and talking points that gets poor people or just the common folk fighting with one another to distract us and to keep us infighting and disunited, if that's a word. I don't know if that's technically a real word, but I made it up. And, they make things about immigration, about gay rights or trans rights, or, name all the social issues that everyone's fighting about. The left and the right are using all of that as a way to distract us from the real problem, which, in this country, power and agency is really, it all comes down to our wealth. It all comes down to how much money we have. And that's really all that the people in power, I think, really care about. And I really agreed with Charles in that, because I feel like I've just been so frustrated when I just kind of see what goes on in our discourse, even what we read and what we see on the news and the internet. It's all about these issues that I think are important. The rights of people are important, and I don't necessarily think that it doesn't matter, but people have been convinced that they do matter in their personal lives. So let's take an example of trans people. They make up all these stories about all these crazy things that trans people are doing, which I think there's probably the same number of trans people doing crazy stuff as there are non-trans or cisgendered people. They talk about immigrants, right? They say, oh, they're doing this, oh, they're doing that. I'm sure there's a similar, percentage of immigrants who are committing crimes than there are to just regular people. And there are people who are committing crimes price gouging and stuff that somehow falls within the law, but they get us fighting about these issues, even civil rights and stuff like that, so that so that we can't make progress, and that we are, I guess, distracted from the real thing, which is just essentially keeping the power away from all of us. And it's been so frustrating just seeing that work, because it seems so obvious to me. It's something that I've been kind of preaching forever, I feel like. Not even just, I don't know, internally I've been thinking just a lot about how silly it is that we fight over these things that that really have no bearing on our lives. Like, honestly, like, I've met a few trans people and had a conversation with them, and it had like little to no impact on my life negatively or positively, to be honest. Not to say that they're bad people, but it's like I just don't have a lot of exposure to that because that's such a small population. You know what I mean? Such a small population in my country. But we make it a much bigger issue than it needs to be. And it's all just a way to keep us distracted and to keep us from uniting. And I think that's just an important truth, and that's just the reality of in which the left and the right, the Republicans, the Democrats, like everybody that's in power, they're all the same people. You know, we all say like, oh, they're all just playing a game with one another. And it's true, like, it's true. But I don't know, man. Like, once we start figuring out that they're using us and they're creating these fragmented groups of people and promoting these fragmented groups of people as a means to keep our ability to organize and to unite and to come together difficult, or to I don't know, restrain our ability to make changes. Like, once we start to realize that, I think like we're really going to be cooking as a society. Because, you know, you may not be struggling, and even for some of you, you're like, well, I make a little bit more than that person who's working minimum wage. Like, I can't unite with them. But man, the difference between someone who makes $30 an hour and $15 an hour, or even $40 an hour and $19 an hour, is razor thin marginal differences than what so many people are making and what the select few are making. Like, you might make 25 to 40% more than the next person, and you might feel like you're miles away from them, but in reality, we're all this close. And the few people who own everything make, you know, 40,000% more than what we're making. So my hope as we move forward is we just start to like see through the BS and the nonsense and all the riffraff that's going around, and we actually recognize that, you know, we have a lot more in common than we think we do, and we should be working for each other and not fighting with one another and letting the other people run away with all the money and power. And honestly, like, sorry, I just ran over something crazy. Where was I? Now this chick's tailgating me and hitting the vape. This is crazy. Crazy person behind me. Always a Kia, isn't it? Anyways, see, this is how it works. See, I'm already, you know, it's just a person behind me driving a Kia. I'm already judging them. They're winning. But even stuff like raising the minimum wage, like, why do people care? They think it's like, I feel like if minimum wage people get more money, then we get more money. You know, those of us who are working above minimum wage, like, all of our wages need to go up. But they put us in a position where we get pissed off at the person making less than us. You know, it's like, what? No. Like, we need to raise the floor and increase the ceiling, you know? So I don't know. That was a little bit of rambling, but just stay on track, man. Stay on track. Don't let people drive you crazy. And we all got to realize that we have so much more in common than we think we do. And if we unite and stick together and work for one another, man, everyone's going to win. I believe that everybody can win. I think it's there. I think it's possible. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think the minimum wage should be $1? I don't know. Let me know. Call into the Cactus Safe hotline, 619-800-5622. Or leave me a comment. Let me know I'm crazy. Tell me I'm stupid. I've been told that before, and, you know, honestly, I don't know. I could be a little stupid. But if you like this video, comment and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Give me some love. That's where I get all of my self-worth, is from people who I've never met before interacting with my videos. So, all right. You guys have a good one. Peace out. Bye.